Welcome to Pink Digital News. It's now time for a Gem of the Month feature brought to you by Pink Digital. Subscribe to the channel to get instant updates and like and share this video. Our Gem of the Month is Constellation 2.0, Building the Future on HGTP. While most blockchains are Layer 1 or Layer 2 solutions, Constellation's Hypergraph Network is a complete redesign of the blockchain infrastructure using a directed acyclic graph (DAG) architecture operating on Layer 0. Layer 0 is an underlying data transfer layer with an infinitely scalable node structure that supports fast and efficient global consensus. Constellation uses an ingenious state channel model operating on a layer above the hypergraph, Layer 1, just as the hypergraph network is the evolution of the blockchain. The state channel is the evolution of the smart contract. State channels support all types of business transactions that can interact with the underlying network as needed to give users the best of both worlds. Customized blockchain-enabled business solutions running on a fee-less, decentralized network that is fast and infinitely scalable. Constellation provides speed, security, and Layer 0 consensus in its network, which is Hypergraph, and transportation protocol, HGTP, without explicitly required fees through the creation of state channels with advanced programmable business logic, extension of core consensus module to Layer 1 network-specific use cases. You'll have innumerable opportunities to develop peer-to-peer networks. You can also leverage their ecosystem to provide immediate value to users and derive mutual economic benefits. Their aim is to attract and support the next blockchain entrepreneur to rapidly build upon a scalable platform with confidence. Headquartered in San Francisco with a team spread across the globe, Constellation's core team is a diverse collection of passionate humans looking to change the world for the better. The founders are Ben Jorgensen, CEO, Aldif Brown, Head of Community and Events, Benjamin Diggles, Chief Strategy Officer, Matthias Goldman, Chief Commercial Officer, and Wyatt Meldman-Flock, Chief Information Security Officer. What is the mission of Constellation? Many technologies are a response to a human need. Bitcoin is widely seen as a response to the global financial crisis of 2008-2009. 10 years later, we have a crisis of data. Information is globally and fluidly shareable. However, there are some issues, such as questioning the accuracy and reliability of information. The next issue is the exponential amount of information that overwhelms the entire world. And thirdly, facing major interoperability issues between data-generating systems. As a consequence, there is an urgent need for a fact-checking layer in the data generation lifecycle. Constellation, in essence, is a response to an acknowledgement of the power that is inherent in information and data. They want to shed light on the informational basis upon which a decision has been made and illuminate potential solutions to these problems. The validation of different data and data sources does not simply facilitate the use of the Internet of Devices, it also lays the foundation for self-organizing and self-governing structures based on true data and information. To reach their goal and transmit the spirit of this undertaking, Constellation has developed a set of principles that lay the foundation onto which they want to build the growth of the network. The principles are data liberation, honesty, sovereignty, sustainability, decentralization, humility, harmony, accountability, adaptability, and civic responsibility. Now let's dive a little deeper into the Constellation. What is the Hypergraph Network? The Hypergraph Network is a decentralized network using distributed ledger technology to support transfers of DAG cryptocurrencies and state channel data validation without explicit fees. It uses a directed acyclic graph DAG protocol and the novel proof of reputable observation PRO consensus. Hypergraph is a central concept in consensus optimizations and refers to graph edges that connect more than two vertices. What is a directed acyclic graph, DAG? A directed acyclic graph is commonplace in orchestration tools, data pipelines, and compiler optimizations. In a blockchain context, it refers to dependency optimizations, as well as a new approach to building layered security pioneered by many separate projects, breaking up linear parent reference blocks into many concurrent ancestor references. In other words, it is a parallelization strategy that translates the conventional hash-layered security of a blockchain into a coincident structure. A conventional blockchain is a chain of hash references, sequentially organized in single links, while a DAG is more like a graph, conceptually. What is HGTP? The Hypergraph Transfer Protocol, HGTP, is secure, elastically scalable, and cross-chain interoperable. The protocol is the heart of the Hypergraph decentralized network. The Hypergraph Network's DAG-based architecture supports the extension of the PRO consensus model and currency transfers, DAG. That simply means it can support the creation of Layer 1 networks and applications. Additionally, it allows for the operation of distributed validation nodes and state channels. State channels support application and L1 network creation. What is DAG? The Hypergraph's native cryptocurrency is the DAG. The DAG operates on an exclusive state channel that facilitates seamless interaction between state channels and network nodes. This means that DAG binds network components together, and this is how the Hypergraph provides utility. What is the global L0 network? The Hypergraph is the network's base layer, aka layer 0 or L0. It's a global layer that sits below an L1 network and performs the final validation of arbitrary data via a network of validator nodes before submitting that data to the global immutable ledger. Some examples of L1 networks are Ethereum, Solana, and Bitcoin. The layers communicate with one another via state channels, so the Hypergraph enables cross-chain interoperability by being an intermediary layer that handles the interaction between chains, with the assumption that the chains communicate with a shared core format. Now let's take a look at state channel. State channels are independent networks or microservices that connect to the L0 network. They process and validate complex data types with custom business logic. They are the second layer of the network. Now we get into the fees, because it is practically feeless, and that is what this network is all about. This means most users pay no transaction fees. They offer every wallet a free transaction per snapshot, and each snapshot is roughly 5 seconds long. In other words, all wallets can transact once every 5 seconds for free. That is enough for most users. In order to filter out spam and DDoS attacks, simple heuristics are applied to establish fees for larger compute requirements. When users feel the need for speed or higher throughputs or volumes, they can, however, prioritize their transactions by paying a one datum fee. That means the L1 network will process the transactions as fast as it can. This is typically a rate in the hundreds per snapshot. With all that said, the Hypergraph network has 0 transaction fees to use it. This makes it work with the stakeholder economy. People don't have to worry about paying random fees to use this toll road, which makes it easy for businesses to align incentives with the value they get from your data. The underlying data structure that is used to construct Constellation's ledger is a directed acyclic graph, or DAG. DAGs allow for asynchronous inputs and are very useful for understanding data transformation pipelines, which makes the data structure very well suited for use in distributed ledger technology. Unlike a blockchain that consists of sequential blocks, directed acyclic graphs possess vertices and edges. Now, the vertices, also referred to as a node, represents the transactions, while the edge is the relationship to other transactions. The graph is directed in that it only permits expansion in one direction, resulting in every new transaction being built on top of the previous one. So think of a hypergraph as a graph that allows you to model group relations instead of only binary relations, enabling a graph to be constructed of other graphs. It's a set of sets that enables different graphs to be connected together by their relationships to form a greater graph structure. So in this hypergraph structure, there is the notion of hyperedges and hypervertices that connect the graphs together, with each hyperedge connecting an arbitrary number of hypervertices instead of only 2 in a regular graph. This allows the Constellation network to weave immutable state data originating from entirely different networks and systems together into one ever-evolving data structure. The hypergraph can be used to compose complex decentralized application logic such as multi-network API calls and cross-network exchange of tokenized assets. The hypergraph network is a decentralized protocol made up of multiple independent networks known as state channels built on top of the hypergraph. Each state channel validates and processes data according to their own internal business logic and custom consensus mechanisms before submitting their status snapshots to the global L0 network. The global L0 performs final validation and then adds the state channel snapshot to the ledger. State should not be managed exclusively by a global linear ledger, but rather updates should be constrained to their exclusive logical service boundaries. The global layer 0, global L0 or hypergraph is the base layer and final layer of consensus on which the rest of the network is built. The global L0 organizes and validates data from other parts of the network before storing it in the immutable ledger. Its work is performed by a network of validator nodes that forms the core of the protocol. The validation ability is constrained to the core interface definitions for defining logic that is easy to share between independent networks, and the functionality offered is targeted towards cross-chain interactions, messages, and shareable execution. Now, the state channels, which are subnetworks that perform their own validation and consensus before submitting data to the global L0 for final consensus and storage in the ledger, state channels can be thought of as microservices that process data and act on triggers from off-chain sources. State channels can include multiple additional layers of consensus as needed based on their internal business logic. Each state channel is the equivalent of the state management operations associated with a conventional linear blockchain, in the sense that updates require exclusive access. So this approach to state isolation allows independent processing and concurrency between state updates that have no relation to one another. The DAG-L1 network is a special case state channel that validates DAG currency transactions for the network and bundles them into blocks, which are then submitted to the global L0 network for final validation. This state channel enables DAG, which is the native currency of the network. State channels are flexible enough to support diverse business use cases and can be constructed in many different ways. Traditional centralized services can easily be combined with decentralized networks of validator nodes to create powerful systems. Developers are free to construct their state channel in whatever way best supports their technical and business objectives. Here are some of the ways a state channel can be organized to handle variations in permissioning. You have decentralized network. A state channel can be organized as a micro version of the global L0 network with one or more layers of custom validator nodes, generating consensus before passing state to the global L0. You have the hybrid network. A state channel can include centralized elements and make use of a decentralized network of validator nodes to run a custom consensus protocol before submitting state to the global L0. You have the centralized service. A state channel can be composed of a single server or a cluster of centralized servers that make use of the global L0 and global ledger state. Centralized services do not make use of some of the most powerful tools available to state channel developers, but can be useful in specific use cases or to scaffold more complex applications. Now let's take a look at the L0 token standard. L0 is the token standard for utility tokens built on Constellation's Hypergraph Network, just as ERC20 is the standard for tokens built on the Ethereum network. Now, the L0 tokens are the cryptocurrencies that run on the various state channels, and each business on a state channel can mint its own L0 token. L0 tokens can be used to transact or conduct commerce within the state channel to reward users for completing various tasks, or to exchange any type of value within the state channel ecosystem. L0 tokens can even be used in non-financial ways, such as validating data from IoT devices. And the Hypergraph supports bridges between state channels for seamless L0 token interoperability and zero swap fees. This means that businesses operating state channels with L0 tokens can share data with one another and benefit from generative economics that the Hypergraph supports. The Constellation Network is a permissionless decentralized protocol that consists of independently owned and operated validator nodes. Validator nodes provide computational resources that are used to perform consensus on the state of data that flows through the network. They are incentivized through Constellation Network's native currency DAG, which is used to quantify and pay the cost of these consumed compute resources. So while proof of work or proof of stake incentivize security through claimed zero trust systems, they ignore or complicate many layers of trust involved in the process of distinguishing and forming the network in favor of reliance exclusively on chain data. Constellation instead encourages node security by attempting to decentralize and minimize trust, using a combination of per-node oracle reputation scoring, reversibility proofs, and peer-to-peer reliability scoring mechanisms. This mechanism is referred to as proof of reputable observation, PRO, and is a live running model that adaptively responds to insecure conditions in real time in an effort to minimize overall trust in the network. Now let's get into some of the products of the Constellation Network. The Stargazer Wallet, Door Traffic Miner, LATTICE, and DAG Explorer. The Stargazer Wallet is the official DAG LTX and ecosystem wallet for iOS, Android, and Chrome. The Door Traffic Miner, Door for short, is the hardware miner that rewards you for collecting foot traffic data. LATTICE is Constellation's DeFi and node management platform, and according to Constellation's CSO Benjamin Diggles, he stated, "Hypercube is essentially Lattice. Everything leads to Lattice." Towards the end of this video, I will share more exciting news on Lattice. And DAG Explorer is Constellation's official block and node explorer platform. It is an open source tool available for the Constellation community to monitor transactions statuses and other important information about the network. The tool supports both MAINNET and testnet. There are also wallets available for interacting with Constellation Network in all formats. I spoke about the Stargazer wallet, but there is also BitFi and the Molly wallet. BitFi is a hardware wallet that supports multiple currencies, including DAG. BitFi integrates with the Stargazer Chrome extension to connect to Web3 sites in the browser, and the Molly wallet is a cross-platform desktop app that supports DAG. Now, there are many projects in the Constellation ecosystem, and of course, I am going to go through all of them. The Fan Token. This is a fan-first commerce platform that seeks to change the live event experience forever. Jenny-Co, the first healthcare data exchange powered by Web3 and DNA. Punchline, a fresh and modern audio format designed to maximize digital audio revenue opportunities for audio creators. Greenheart CBD. Greenheart is a DeFi platform used for issuing loans to farmers who wish to switch from other crops to farming hemp for use in CBD production. FXDX, a trustless, permissionless, and non-custodial trading platform that enables you to trade derivatives such as perpetuals and take on leverage without having to worry about manipulation. Node Army, outsourced nodes as a service upstream to token holders, maximizing PRO scores and rewards. Door, the world's first thermal sensing battery-operated people counter. The Void, helping brands deliver exclusive, unique, and engaging experiences for their customers. by leveraging the interconnected power of Web3 digital communities. CyberLead, the premier technology partner of the gaming industry, setting worldwide standards. Chainraise, invest in blockchain companies, tech startups, real estate, and more. Concord, one platform for compliance and privacy-first data collection. Drone Industry Systems, drone and vehicle autonomous fleet logistic infrastructure and delivery system. Alchemy Exchange, a decentralized replacement to the inefficient legacy programmatic ad exchanges with the mission to restore the value exchange between advertisers, publishers, and users. GeoJam, an economy where artists, creators, and fans can earn together and generate value for experiencing moments together. Double Dice, the decentralized pool predictions protocol, play the games or open your own rooms. Finovant, providing the speed, security, and anonymity of biometric identity to the blockchain and decentralized finance space. And Sofinia. Sofinia was founded on the principle that the extraction of value from data should be available to everyone. Now, the Constellation Network makes crypto mass adoption possible with state channels and the L0 token standard. What this means is, because of the technology Constellation is building, businesses with thousands or even millions of customers now can seriously consider building decentralized solutions and incorporating crypto token transactions into their business models. Constellation offers a platform with state channels and L0 token standard that can handle the load, perform seamlessly under the covers, and of course scale with the businesses. The Constellation team went into phase 2 of the MAINNET 2.0 roadmap earlier this year with L0 token development and the launch of their testnet. During that time, they were able to onboard additional testnet nodes, onboard L0 tokens to establish the path to cross-chain swapping, conduct a third-party security audit, and stress test the network. Now, L0 will support a robust ecosystem that empowers datapreneurs, entrepreneurs, and legacy businesses as crypto economies become a viable consideration for exciting new opportunities. They have a growing list of trusted ecosystem partners with a focus on industry collaboration and cross-pollination of resources. They have the product category, the community category, and the business category. Special mention will be made to their partnership with the Stardust Collective. The Stardust Collective is a decentralized open source organization with developers, designers, and educators from all around the world, including Amsterdam, Dubai, San Francisco, Singapore, and Sydney. Their work focuses on producing companion DApps, tools, services, and resources for Constellation's Hypergraph Network. Some of the featured projects include the LATTICE Exchange, Alchemy Exchange, GeoJam, Stargazer Wallet, and more. Now, on September 1, the team launched their new and improved website, which is now a sleek, clean, and elevated design. September 27 will be the launch of the LATTICE 2.0 with Genico on the launchpad, and the MAINNET 2.0 is set to launch on September 28th. So exciting things are happening and more events to look forward to. I'll be doing more videos on some of the projects as they help to provide more scope for what's to come. I do hope you enjoyed this deep dive of the Constellation Network. What are your thoughts on the Constellation? Hit me up in the comments below and let me know. Hit the subscribe button and like and share this video. That was our Gem of the Month feature brought to you by Pink Digital. Thank you for tuning in. Pink Digital News, signing out.